Welcome to UC Today. My name is David Dungay. I'm here with Brian Day, CEO of Fuse. Welcome to the show, Brian. How are you today?
I'm doing great, David. Thanks for inviting me. Appreciate the opportunity to talk to you today.
Well, thank you for joining me. So we want a bit of an update on Fuse, what's happening in the market. You know, at the beginning of 2021, there's a lot going on. The pandemic still in full flow globally, really. So, but before we get into some questions, Brian, can you tell our audience just a little bit about yourself and the business?
Sure. So I've been CEO of Fuse since the fourth quarter of 2019. So this is essentially my fifth quarter. Interesting time to take over any business as CEO, as you can imagine. But I'm just thankful that we're in the UC space. So it was obviously it was easier for us than a lot of other businesses out there. You know, we as I'm sure you've heard from others in our space, we benefited from some nice tailwinds in 2020, and I always hate to gloat about that too much because it feels like I'm a bit of a war profiteer when I say those types of things, but you know, the market was quite good to us in 2020, and I think we had a lot of happy customers utilizing our technology, and it was gratifying to be able to help our customers make a smooth transition to the new environment they're operating in today.
Excellent. Okay, so as you say, the market in 2020, you know, it's exploded. If you're selling UCaaS technology, it's you know, it's the place really to be. So I mean, tell me about the proposition over at Fuse. You know, obviously a lot of development going on. How has that been over the last 12 months? What does that look like exactly?
So at Fuse, we decided back in late 2019 to focus really exclusively on enterprise. So we moved away from small businesses, moved away from the mid-market, and you know, everybody defines enterprise differently. We really look at deals that are 500 seats and above, and our sweet spot tends to be 1,000 seats and up. It's proven to be a good market for us. You know, we made that decision, and we back, as I said, late 2019, and really focused all of the company's resources on being the best enterprise UCaaS company out there. And we decided that in order to be successful in enterprise, we needed to really focus the whole organization on enterprise, because it's hard to be all things to all people. You know, we had a fairly large portfolio of small business customers as well, and what we came to realize is providing support for those types of customers is an entirely different activity than providing support for a large enterprise. So we think focusing on the enterprise was the right market for us to go into, and you know, and we continue to develop a lot of new features and functions that are targeted towards specific segments within the enterprise as well. So something I'm glad we did it. I think focus is important, and we've really been steadfast in maintaining that focus.
Okay, well, we've just come through our CPaaS and integrated sort of comms month at UC Today. I'd be really interested on your thoughts on that, particularly as you say, you know, you have this enterprise focus. How is you know, integrated communications really impacting that space? You know, has this rhetoric around CPaaS, has that come of age now?
Yeah, I mean, I think it really depends what type of enterprise you're talking to, and you know, I mean, if you talk to 500 different companies, you have 5 different types of strategies. It ranges from, you know, some enterprises want to buy everything from one vendor, and then you have some enterprises that want best of breed for every type of technology there is out there. So we've tried to be fairly nimble from that perspective. You know, we have on the contact center side, we have our own contact center product that we sell. But for enterprises that really want a robust, full-featured contact center, you know, we resell other people's contact centers as well. So, you know, we try to play in a situation where somebody can buy everything from us or buy just the UCaaS product from us, and that applies to CPaaS as well. You know, again, it really depends on what the enterprise is looking for.
Okay. So in terms of disruption, you say 2020 was a disruptive year for a number of reasons, as we all know. From a technology point of view, though, you know, how is Fuse sort of disrupting the market? Where are your areas of focus right now when it comes to the tech?
Yeah, so it's a great question. You know, and we've thought a lot about that as 2020 progressed. I mean, it was kind of a wild year, as you know, right? I mean, it was kind of, you know, hold on to your horses in the first quarter. And we saw, you know, a huge run-up in activity in our platform between March 1st and April 1st, we saw a 700% increase in traffic on our platform. And then as the year progressed, we started to say, okay, I mean, this is kind of, I mean, what we're seeing is an acceleration of adoption of UCaaS. So companies that may not have been thinking about doing it until maybe 2022 or 2023 are now saying, hey, I think I've got to do this. And we obviously saw a lot more competition coming into the market as well. So we decided we've got to focus, as I said earlier, on certain segments within the enterprise sector. So we've got some announcements coming out later on this quarter and early in Q2 about new product ideas that we've got, new segments that we'll be focusing on. I think UCaaS is it's moved into the mainstream so fast that it's almost fairly common, right? I don't want to say it's a commodity because it's certainly not a commodity, but it's a burgeoning market and there are a lot of players in the market. So our belief is that to be successful here, you've got to have some features that are really focused on specific segments within enterprises and within certain parts of the economy. So those are the things that we're focusing on. And again, I don't want to preempt my marketing department's announcement, or I'll never hear the end of it. But we've got some interesting news coming out in the coming weeks and months.
Excellent. So, I mean, part of that news, recently news broke elsewhere regarding you raising some money from your existing investors. What can you tell us around that? Where are you looking to spend that money to further the Fuse development?
Sure, it was a pretty small fundraising actually, but what really happened is we got later into 2020 and we saw the pipeline continuing to build. We decided, okay, we need to pour a little more gas on the sales and marketing side of the business. So some of our existing investors had some extra money sitting on the sidelines, and they said, look, we'd like to invest more money in Fuse. And at the time we were putting our 2021 budget together and said we'd like to spend a little more money on sales and marketing than we did in 2020 because we feel like things are really starting to move and break in the right direction, but we need to be smart about it as well. So some of our investors said, well, look, here's some more money. So it was like I said, it was a small investment, but it was a little extra money that we wanted to be able to spend on sales and marketing as we move into 20 and 21.
Yeah,
and I think it was really reflective of the confidence they've got in the market and the success that we had in 2020 as well.
Yeah, okay. Brian, I really want to get a sense of the transformation some of your customers are going through at the moment at the enterprise level. Transformation is probably the most overused term in our industry, but it is a process we're all going through right now. How central is this UCaaS theme amidst your customers' transformation? Is that the heart? Is that where it begins? The UCaaS?
It really does, David. And it was pretty amazing some of the unsolicited testimonials we got from customers back in early to mid 2020. But what we've seen is in enterprise is a little different than small business. Enterprises, I mean, you've got CIOs that tend to be very, very methodical about how they do things, and that's how they've gotten to be where they are. And we have a lot of customers that we may sell deals of 10,000, 20,000 seats, and when we sign the deal, they may have a rollout plan that's scheduled for the next 18 months. And again, I come back to I use the word methodical. They'll have, if it's a 20 office company in 10 different countries around the globe, they'll do an office a month for the next 20 months or something like that, and that's the plan. What we saw with the pandemic was they accelerated that. So we had one customer I can remember in France, for example. It was a 10,000 seat customer of ours, and on March 1st, I believe they had about 500 seats deployed. And the plan was to complete the deployment by mid-2021. So they had an 18-month plan to roll out to all 10,000 seats. By March 31st, they had rolled out to all 10,000. So they did 18 months and they accelerated into 30 days. And we obviously were able to support that and help them through that transition. We had a number of customers do the same types of things, and they were obviously thankful that they had signed up with Fuse because without a UCaaS product, it would have been in tough shape. Sending people home without any means of communication would have. Companies that hadn't done it found themselves in a difficult situation. So we had a number of stories like that really helped us out as a business.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there was that we all know the mad scramble back in March 2020. You know, as you say, those businesses, they had to go remote. They didn't really have a choice, and they had to do that very quickly. Looking forward into 2021, though, you know, most businesses have gone through that initial pain, if you like, of being set up in the cloud remotely. You know, what's your expectation for 2021 though, when it comes to the next sort of phase of transformation? Where are you seeing that happen, do you think?
You know, it's really across the board, David. So our pipeline continues to grow. It's never been bigger than it is right now. We're seeing a lot of high profile logos moving into UCaaS now as prospects that we didn't see in the past. So, you know, historically, I'd say if you had a high profile logo in the pipeline, it was somebody that had a reputation of being very progressive. Now it's a lot of companies are doing it. So I don't see the growth slowing down in UCaaS as we move forward. But I will say, you know, again, focusing on enterprise, you know, we're working with CIOs that are, I'll use that word again, methodical, right? So they're not going to make snap decisions and jump at something right away. They don't have to. I think they've all come to the conclusion that UCaaS is here to stay and it's the right choice. If there was anybody leaning towards their old traditional on-prem product, I don't think they are anymore. I think at the end of the day, it's going to be UCaaS. The question is, who are they going to choose and when are they going to do it? And it really depends a lot on different industries. You know, one of the industries that really surprises me that we've seen a lot of traction in late 2020 and into early 2021 has been retail. And you would think of retail as an industry that's really struggling right now, but what we have seen is that, again, the smart, progressive retailers are taking the opportunity that exists right now to say, okay, now's the time for me to upgrade my communications. While business is slow, and let's face it, other than a few pockets of the world, retail is struggling right now. Business is by and large pretty slow. But those that are really thinking about the future are saying this is the right time to make that upgrade. Not when I've got, you know, thousands of customers in and out of my stores every single day. This is the right time to do it. So we've been surprised at some of the traction we've seen and some of the interest we've seen from some pretty large retailers.
Excellent. Okay, so Brian, you know, 2021, it's ahead of us now. What's exciting you about this year? What are you looking forward to in the coming year? We all need something to excite us at the moment. What's getting you going at the moment?
Well, for me personally, getting back to the office would be great. I'm kind of a people person, and I miss not actually being able to, you know, touch my people and see my people and look them in the eye. I mean, we've all done video, and the video's great, and it's nice. And I'm certainly not going to badmouth video because it's part of our business, obviously. But I'd much rather meet somebody face to face. And we've hired a lot of new people at Fuse in the past 12 months, and I've never met them. I have a new general counsel. I have a new chief financial officer. And I've never laid eyes on these two individuals other than through a computer screen. So it's funny, my general counsel joked with me the other day. We had a board meeting 2 days ago, and he said, boy, I'd like nothing better than to just go sit down in a restaurant and have a beer now after the board meeting and have the team together. And I couldn't agree more, right? So those are the little things that you kind of miss. I think technology's helped us all communicate, and it's probably saved the world economy. I commented to somebody the other day, imagine this had happened in 2008 when we didn't have the technology we have today. The world economy would be flat on its back. So I think we've managed to kind of solve that problem somewhat. The economy is still struggling, but what we kind of all miss is just the social interactions, the ability to unwind and do those kinds of things. So to me, that's what I'm looking forward to, and hopefully the vaccines will be rolled out and things will work well, and by late summer, early fall, we'll be somewhat back to what'll be the new normal, so to speak.
Absolutely, I couldn't agree more. Well, what a nice place to end our conversation today, Brian. Thank you so much for joining me.
David, thanks for hosting me today. I appreciate it.
And thank you for watching. You've been watching me, David Dungay, on UC Today. If you liked what you saw here today, please give us a like or a share on social media. You can follow all the action on the UC News hashtag. That's all from me. See you next time.